Hey guys, it's Kylie. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing something a little bit different. I want to start a new series of my favorite items. So I'm going to start breaking it down into different categories. It is so hard to pick from all of the items that are out there. There's a new makeup product I feel like every 5 seconds now. So these are some of my tried and true favorite items that I would truly recommend to anyone, to my family members. These are gifts that I would give to people. Today we're starting with eyeshadow palettes just because I think it's probably the thing that I have most of. First, I am going to go with a single eyeshadow. This is a MAC eyeshadow. This is Stairs to the Stars. It's one of their, what do you call it? It's a spellbinder shadow. It's got a velvet texture. It is so beautiful. I love the feeling of it. It looks almost brown on my finger right now, but then when you put it on, it's more of a maroon shift. See, it kind of actually matches my sweatshirt. So it's like a brown and maroon look. Now they had two of these when I bought this one. It was this color and then a blue color as well. But this is a beautiful topper to go over eyeshadows. You can wear this just plain on the lid and make it beautiful. I just love the feeling of it. I love the way it wears. It's so pretty. The sparkle in here is amazing. I'm not huge on single shadows because to me it's just easier to do a palette, but this one is definitely a favorite of mine and I do use this a lot. I'm not even sure if it's still available, to be honest, but if these are, definitely recommend getting your hands on them. I'm not going in any particular order either. I'm just showing these as I have them. The next one I have is the Natasha Denona Mini Star palette. Unfortunately, one of my shadows completely broke right there. I don't even remember. Oh, it was the green shade. These are $25. It has 5 shades in them. Natasha Denona is a very expensive prestige brand. Like their bigger palettes are $125 or $130 something dollars. They're very expensive. So if you don't have that kind of cash to spend, but you want to try Natasha Denona, this one in particularly I love because it's got your 3 neutral shades here. You've got a tan and a brown matte, but you've also got 3 shimmers or metallics. One's more of a copper, then we have a blue, and then there was also a green. And the blue and the green are so different too. They're not shades that I've really seen, not too often anyways. It's a duochrome shadow. So in the pan it looks very blue. It's just so different. Look at it compared to it in the pan. It's got a blue shift and a tan shift. So anyways, this one is absolutely beautiful. They do have other shades or different palettes with the 5 shades and they're all different colors. So you do have more options. Some of them are $25 though, and some of them are more. So I don't know why, because it's the same amount of shadow. I don't understand. The blendability on these is fantastic. Again, I like this one because of the neutrals and a little bit of color there, but it's a palette that you can throw in your bag. You can get a lot of different beautiful looks out of it, even though you do only have 5 shades. So I really love this one. This one is used a lot. Moving right along, these are, I'm gonna show them together because they're both Huda Beauty. This is the Huda Beauty Nude and the Huda Beauty Rose Gold palette. Both of these have great mirrors inside of them. This one is the Rose Gold palette. I love these shades in here. These totally scream my name. I love more pinky shades. There's a couple that I haven't even touched. I tend to gravitate towards the same ones in this palette and in the nude palette, but all of the shades are so beautiful. Again, with the blendability on these, the amount of shadows. This one is a little more expensive. I think it's 60 something dollars, but I mean, you do get a good amount of shades in here, and the quality on these is beautiful. Now, this one is the nude palette. They're similar in the fact that, I mean, they both have a lot of pinks and purples in them, I guess, but totally different palettes. I like to use these two together though. I'll use more of the nude shades in here, and then these rose gold shimmers right here are what I love the most out of this palette. They're so beautiful. But both of the palettes, equally good quality. This one also has several different textures in it, so you get 2 actual glitters in here, but then you've got 4 like marbled shadows. Like here's one, here's one. I don't know how to explain. It looks marbled or something. I don't know. They're weird. They're pretty. That's all there is to it. So these 2 palettes I do use quite a bit. Like I said, I like to use the 2 together, but obviously there's enough shades in both of them that you don't have to. I'm just swatching right now the Rose Gold palette. Ooh, see, this is one of my favorite shades ever. That was Pink Diamond. The first one was Bubbly, and this one is Pink Diamond. Oh my God, that's so gorgeous. Then let's do Trust Fund. Do you see how like easily they swatch too? I mean, not that a swatch determines whether it's going to look good on the eye or not, but they feel like butter. They apply like butter. It's pretty great. Here's another one. That was Doll Face. So there's just a couple shades from the Rose Gold palette. Let's look at, this is a shade Fantasy from the Nude. Oh my gosh. See, that's one of those marbled shadows that I was talking about. It's so, so pretty. This is Secret. It's just a nice matte shade. I've still got swatches left over from the other one. And this is the shade Kinky. They are just so good. These are palettes too that I used to travel with a lot because they are smaller than a lot of the other palettes that I will show you. These two were traveled with a lot just because the amount of shadows that are in them, then you can get so many good neutral looks out of them, but you can also make them dark and vampy, and there's a little bit of color in there so you can do different stuff. It doesn't have to be just a neutral shade. But anyways, I think I've talked enough about those. They're just really great. I definitely recommend these two. Show. I'm going to move on to one that I recently got actually in a BoxyCharm. This is by Dose of Colors. It is their Marvelous Mauves palette. It is a palette just full of obviously mauve shades, and they are all matte. They have several other shadow palettes with the 5 shades in them that you can get. So if you're not into mauves or anything, you don't, I mean, there's other options out there. When I tell you this is one of the best eyeshadow formulas I've ever used, like this truly is so good. They blended amazingly. They're so silky, so smooth on the eyes. You can get a beautiful look out of them. This is another one too that is small enough to just throw in your bag. It's great. This is the first Dose of Colors palette that I have tried, and I do want to try more because of this, because of how well the shadows worked out for me. I want to try more. I think this is a great brand to give and a great little palette to try for yourself. Let's go into a palette that actually it's multiple palettes in one. I don't use this as often, but I use it more often now than I did before. And I will say the quality on these is not to die for or anything like the ones that I just talked about, but also for the price point, you're spending a lot less, I feel like, than the other palettes that I've mentioned. You're still getting good quality. It's just not, it's not as high for sure. This is the JACLYN Hill Vault Collection. This is actually broken down. I depotted all of the shadows. I have two videos up if you want to watch the depotting version. This one unfortunately broke. That was the black, so it's kind of all over. But I went through, I swatched, I tried all of the eyeshadows, and I put in here my favorites out of all of them. There is another palette with some others in it, but they were the ones that were chalky, didn't blend, I just had issues with. So I put all the other ones in here that I actually like to use. And now that I depotted it and I have this, I use it so much more. I think it's beautiful to look at, and I just put it in a Z palette from Ulta. I have all the shade names written on the back of them, on the back of the magnets and everything, so I still know what they are. So again, I know there was a lot of issues with the Vault. I think they're fine now. I think a lot of people still like them, but like I said, what I did is went through, swatched them all, tried them all on my eyes, saw what worked, saw what didn't, and got this out of it. And I love using this because these are shades that I truly adore. So this one is fun to pick up. I do like to use this. Not as good quality as the others, but I still like it. Okay, let's talk about one that I've had for a while. This is my Too Faced Chocolate Bonbons palette. I got this years ago. This one, why I like this one so much, first of all, it smells like chocolate. This is one of the very first palettes that I got and spent money on, and I think if you're a beginner or if you're buying a gift for a beginner, this is the perfect palette because you have your neutrals. It smells delicious, so that makes it fun. You've got some more pinky shades in here too, that's cool. But it's just so cute. And for me, when I was starting out, this was my everyday go-to. You've got so many good neutral shades in there that work. I just loved it for the longest time. Now this one isn't one that I reach for as often anymore, but I just know that this one Like I said, when I first started and I didn't have a neutral palette, this was it, and this was my everything. So I do still like this. I will use it from time to time. I just have other ones now that surpass it, but it's still a very good one. And again, if you're a beginner, or if you have a friend or a family member who's a beginner, this is a perfect gift to get them. Let's go back to Morphe and talk about the original JACLYN Hill palette. This one I feel like is so many people's favorites. I feel like this palette will never go out of style. They did something so good with this palette. You've got so many good neutrals. You've got so many good pops of colors. This is a fantastic palette. Quality wise, I wouldn't say it's as up there as like Huda Beauty or some of the other ones that I'm going to mention, but it's still great for the price point you're paying. You're getting so many shadows. You're getting so many looks out of this. It's been one of my favorites for a while. Use it all the time. I would say I have been using it a little bit less lately, but again, it is still one that I do love to have. This is a great gift. Again, you're getting so much, and you can use coupon codes. You can use Morphe discount codes on their actual site or in Morphe stores. You can get discounts. You can often get discounts on Morphe in Ulta, so you can get it even cheaper. I just think it's a great bang for your buck. Let's just continue with the Morphe theme and get it out of the way. This is the Morphe James Charles palette. They also have the Morphe James Charles mini palette now, which is a lot smaller, so if you are somebody who travels or doesn't have space for something this big, they've got the mini palette. I don't know if the formulas are the same in it or not, but this is so perfect if you like to try different colors, if you like to do crazy stuff on your face. Again, Morphe is a very affordable brand, so this is affordable, especially for the amount of shades you're getting, and the quality is pretty good on this too. I use it a lot when I want to use color. It's great for someone who likes to have fun and likes to get out of their comfort zone and do something crazy. This is so good. I use this a lot. I mean, I wouldn't say a lot because I don't do a whole lot of crazy colors, but when I do, this is the palette that I go to. I mean, it's a rainbow. You've got everything you need. Moving on, let's talk about LORAC. LORAC, I have only tried their Mega Pro palettes. I have the 2 and 3. They had a 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, I don't know what ones you can still buy. I know I've seen the number 1 in Kohl's and on Kohl's online, and I think on LORAC site. I think I've also seen number 4, but I don't know if I've seen these ones for sale still. So this is the 2 and this is the 3. If they are available, oh my god, get your hands on them. Or the LORAC Mega Pro 1, that one's good. I mean, any of the Mega Pros, I'm sure all the LORAC shadows are the same quality, because I mean, these two are the same quality. Now, a lot of people complain about these because they are so dusty when you put a brush in them. There's a lot of fallout that happens in the pan, and you can get a lot of fallout on the eyes. It's just the way they're pressed because they're so soft. It doesn't bother me because the quality of these is so good. I don't know. I just use these so much. I've hit pan on several of the shades in both of these. What I like about them both is they both have a fair amount of neutrals in them, so you can get a perfect neutral look out of them, but they've also got your dark colors, your little pops of color here and there. You can get so many looks out of them. This one is so perfect for prom and wedding makeup. I've used this for several of my cousins' prom looks. It's just so perfect for that. This one I love for fall. This one, I broke the mirror off of it, so that sucks. But the only, I guess, downside to it is, as you can see, they're absolutely filthy because of the texture they are. But I mean, I've had them for so long, it doesn't bother me. I could go in with a makeup wipe and clean them up. It's not that big of a deal to me. I just love these so much. These are... How long ago did these come out? 5, 6 years ago, and I've had them for that long, and these are palettes that I continue to go back to regularly. These are some of my all-time favorite eyeshadow palettes. I love them so much. If you can get your hands on these, definitely do. I have been looking at their LORAC Mega Pro 1. Like I said, I saw it at Kohl's and I believe on LORAC's website, so it is one that I would probably like to get my hands on just because I know I like these ones so much. I would like to have them all, but oh, they're just so good. And the very last eyeshadow palette that I want to talk about, I've been doing several tutorials with it. It is new to me, but it is the one that I've been using every day since I've got it. I feel like this is the TATI Beauty Textured Neutrals Volume 1 palette. Now this one has the same texture as the LORAC palette, so it is, I mean, it's dirty already. It's going to continue to get dirty. Just take a makeup wipe to it if it bugs you. Doesn't bug me. not a big deal. I love this one so much because this one, first of all, has the best mirror I've ever had in an eyeshadow palette, which I truly appreciate because I can just, I mean, use that so easily to do my makeup, whereas some of the other eyeshadow palettes have good mirrors, they're not great, and some of them have bad mirrors where they're a little bit distorted or something just looks funky. This one is a crystal clear mirror. It's perfect. You can see everything and it takes up the entire space there, so there's not anything that's not being used. This is the palette itself. I'm sure everybody has seen it. This is so beautiful. Again, I feel like we have a theme. I do like neutral colors. I do use pops of color too, but this is so perfect. I don't know if I think they're all sold out right now, but it is in her permanent collection, so it is something you can get your hands on. I love the way that she set up her palette, first of all, she has her shade names going up. The columns, I guess, are all the shade names, and then horizontally you have your textures. So this one would be Metallic Memory. This one would be Sequin Soothe. Like, I like how she did that with each color and texture. I think that is so cool. It's not as memorable to me like with these palettes. They have their names, so when I go into a shade, it's usually more memorable with the specific name, but it's something you get used to. But I mean, I don't need to remember the shade name as long as I figure out what it is. I don't know. I like the way she did it. But aside from that, these glitters are in here are the best glitters I've ever felt and used. Every single texture in here is amazing quality. The matte shades blend so fantastically. This blacks are so hard to use, so hard to not get everywhere. And I did a tutorial using just the memory row with all these dark colors. I had like no fallout. I think the only fallout I had was actually a little bit from the glitter maybe, and it wasn't even very much. But with every other black shade that I use, I always have fallout. With this, there's like none. So and the way it blended, and it's just amazing. This palette overall, to you on screen, it might look very boring. When you see this in person and when you can see the sequin shades in action, they are fantastic. The metallics aren't like super poppy like I would say in the Huda Beauty palette. Her metallic shades are like really metallic. These ones are more of a toned down. They're still metallic, but they're a little more toned down, but it works for me. I love it so much. It's great for somebody who likes neutrals. It's great for somebody who's new or is an expert and just needs an updated neutrals palette. Like, this is so perfect. And I mean, it's more than just neutrals though. I love it so much. I think this is a palette that every single person should have because it is so good, and I cannot wait to try more of her stuff. That is it for all of my eyeshadows. I have an entire drawer full, so to be able to pick out my favorites, I mean, you would think it might be hard, but actually it was pretty easy. I know this is a lot still, but I think every single one of them had a little bit of a difference to them. There's different price ranges in each of these, so if you are looking for something for yourself or for someone, there are so many great options here, and every one of these, like I said, I use the crap out of them. I really do. These are the palettes that I rotate through. Like, usually I will use the same palette for like a month or so, and then I'll switch, or a week, and then I'll switch to the next one and use that one again for a while, and then I'll come back to another one. So these are the ones that are like constantly in rotation and that I constantly use. So they are definitely very special. I love them. I want to know your thoughts. What are your guys' favorite eyeshadow palettes? I want to know that everybody has different preferences on eyeshadow palettes and on makeup in general. Not everybody likes the same thing. Everybody has different opinions. So what I like, the next person might not. So these are the ones that just really work for me. I love them. I will never stop loving them. I love you so much, guys. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed my favorites, my recommendations of eyeshadow palettes. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.